Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Amber Betts.
Hello, this is Amber Betts with the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver, and today we are excited to be here with Dr. Nicholas of Empower Health Chiropractic. Thanks for being here. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. So tell us about your business, what you offer, and tell us about you.
Yeah, so I opened this location in 21. So chiropractors, we work with the spine, and specifically we work with the spinal cord, which which contacts the brain through the body, through the nervous system. And so what we offer is a lifestyle of chiropractic in which we optimize health. So the brain controls all the functions of the body, does that by sending energy down through that spinal cord. And due to different stresses in our lives, that can be sudden or over time, the individual bones can start shifting out of place. And so when that occurs, it blocks that energy to the body. And so our body isn't able to kind of properly communicate to the brain. And so what we do is we free up that energy and allow it to flow more effectively and just live a more healthy lifestyle.
That's amazing. So what are the like modes or styles that you offer?
I do use a multimodal approach. So I believe that it takes more than chiropractic alone. So I use physical therapy, so supervised exercises. I also have traction. So there's something called neuroplasticity. So when we are in a kind of a hunched forward position, like at a computer all day, like our brains gets used to that and it doesn't like that position. And so we slowly get more and more used to that. And then we go further and further forward. So the traction that I provide ingrains, neuroplasticity in a positive way. So that if we are kind of living in a flexed environment, we can bring ourselves into extension and then be more in tune. And so our spinal cord is more relaxed. There's also, I do electric muscle stimulation. So any kind of tightness that tightens around a joint. So if joints are shifting out of place, it's a sign of instability. And so the joints and ligaments have become unstable. And so the last line of defense is muscles. So if that happens, the muscles will kind of clamp hold of that joint just to try and stop it from going further. And that's where the muscles go into like a deep spasm. And so what the electric muscle stimulation does is that contracts the muscles, allows the muscles to fatigue out and tire and stop them spasming. So it provides a little bit of relief there. I also provide ultrasound. I'm specialized in prenatal pregnancy. So I'm Webster certified, which is recognized by the American Pregnancy Association. And that is pelvic work to release tension, change the orientation of the pelvis, optimize fetal positioning. And that actually allows decreased labor times, decreased risk of trauma, decreased risk of cesarean. And I also have x-rays in my office. So, we don't have to refer out to another facility to get that information. We can just take it right there and there. And I can review that pretty soon. And yeah, that's a lot of them. There are still a few more.
Okay. But yeah. That's a lot. That's amazing. And my next question was going to be, why do your patients keep coming back or they choose you over somebody else? I think you touched on it, all these different things that you offer. I'm hoping they would get results, but maybe touch on that a little bit more of why they choose you or come back.
Sure. Yeah. So I have a one-on-one approach. So the moment you come in to the moment you leave, you're with me. So you come in, you check in with me. I see how you're doing. I check on your progress. I like to get very analytical with the numbers. Sometimes it can be difficult to quantify how much progress you've had. So if that's difficult, we have surveys to kind of measure that. And so I'm walking you through every single step of that 30 to 45 minute appointment for treatment. And then when you leave, I have a very measurable and figure to look upon, so you can see the results for yourself.
Amazing. So, Dr. Nicholas, tell us kind of your backstory, how you got started, a little bit of your history.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Bristol, the UK, but I moved to America when I was 13, to freshman year of high school. And I was a big into drama club. And we always used to do these like massage trains. So we'd always just like stand in a circle and like massage each other. And it was actually my dad that noticed I had like an innate ability of like to be able to feel like where knots are and just kind of like help people in that way. And so he's the one that actually told me about chiropractic, because again, I would massage my family as well, and it was just something that like I like to do. Once he told me about chiropractic, I hadn't been to a chiropractor before, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare industry. I just didn't know exactly which route I was going to take. And I just really liked the initial idea of chiropractic. And so I took a shot. And I really fell in love with chiropractic after I graduated. What happened was I took this chiropractic missionary trip in Haiti.
Oh, wow.
And I went there just to kind of help the community, but also provide chiropractic. And so what we would do is we go to all these like impoverished communities, and we'd have our tables, and we just kind of set the table down wherever. And there was this one location in Labadee. Now that may be familiar to a lot of people because it's a popular cruise ship destination. But if you just go right outside the barbed wire, there's a fishing village right there, and they don't have cars, they don't have running water, no electricity. The community's like washing their clothes in the river.
Right.
And there was this group of kids just kind of like, run around being happy, kind of like, involving themselves with what's happening in the village.
Yep.
And what happened is we handed this girl a cookie, and what she did with that cookie was just something I'll always remember. She actually broke up the cookie into multiple pieces and started handing out to her friends.
Aww.
And she didn't have shoes on her feet, she only had a shirt on. Like her brother next to her didn't have anything to his name. And here we are, like, so in a community that doesn't have anything except each other, and they are willing to share what they do have. And so that kind of resonated with me about community. So when I come back here, it's like that's what I want to kind of do, and just kind of provide as much as I can to the community, as much as I can. So yeah.
Love that.
And so Colorado was an amazing kind of like random choice, actually. I had plans to go to Austin, Texas.
Okay.
I had a job offer and everything, but there was like a random $30 flight that I took on Black Friday.
Okay.
And I took it was like to Denver. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Denver. And then my wife told me, say, hey, you should do some job interviews while you're there. And I was like, okay. And so I did job interviews, and I went hiking, and I was just like, wow, this place is amazing. And I got a job offer. So then I took it, and I was just like, never looked back. So,
love it.
Yeah.
So tell the listeners, do you have any like news or specials or updates or anything kind of current going on?
Sure. Yeah. So June through September, my special is that I'm running a $50 promotion that includes exams and x-rays if the x-rays are needed. So that includes proper consultation. So that's 60, 90 minutes of us just kind of deep diving into your condition. It includes a full orthopedic exam. So posture screen, vitals, orthopedic exam, range of motion testing, everything. So we can kind of go down to the nitty and gritty. Then also the x-rays, so we can kind of actually pinpoint exactly where your health problems are coming from. And then pinpoint, so we can say, hey, they're coming from this part of the spine or this, so forth like that. And then I have you come back, and then we literally deep dive into everything that I found, and I explain that to you. And I just kind of allow that to be in your hands on what you want to do with that information.
Great.
Yeah.
So then the last thing I always ask is, I'm sure you stay really busy with your business, but what do you do for fun outside of work? You mentioned hiking, but what else?
Yeah. So I have a 2-year-old, and I got another baby due in August. So all my fun time is dedicated to them right now. When I do have some family help, like my in-laws or my parents come to town and stuff like that, during the winter, so I love the skiing culture here. The mountains are amazing. During the summer, like I really want to get to go camping, do a nice big hike, like a 2-day hike, and go camping out there somewhere. So the Colorado lifestyle is just so appealing. So that's just what I want to do.
We hear that a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
As you can imagine. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Tell the listeners all the best ways to reach you, your website, your location, phone number, whatever the best ways to get to you.
Yeah. So I'm located at 6th and Kipling in a red office building that's 100 Legacy. So the address is 710 Kipling Street, Suite 401. So I'm on the northeast side of the 6th and Kipling intersection. You can reach me at my website, Empower Health Chiropractic.com, and you can schedule an appointment on that website, or you can give me a call as well. That's 720-592-0920. Thank you.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Yeah, have a good day, and thanks to the listeners out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com, or call 720-295-9588.